Hi guys, Jola Pypno-Crapanzano here in my next episode, Coaching Journey with Jola interview series. And I have a special treat for you, don't I always, right? But today my guest is super special for a couple reasons. It's my fellow CHPC certified high performance coach, but it is also my personal very first coach that I got the pleasure to be coached by and introduced by high performance from the California wine country. With love, Vito LaFata. Bring it on, Vito.
Yes, Jola, so great to be on and see that you're taking action out there coaching people. What a long journey. Proud of you.
Yeah, you know, it's all because of you. And I will pinpoint this in this interview several times, how important it is to have a mentor who inspires you, who freaking pushes you, who don't take bullshit from you, who doesn't take excuses as an answer. All of this was you, basically, for me. But before we go there, who is Vito, right? Who is this guy that's just talking to me right now on this other side? Well, guys, like I said, Vito is not only a coach, but he also is unbelievable entrepreneur, multi-business online owner, 7-figure plus, right? If not,
and a dad, as you just heard.
Was my next day. Dad of this sweetest baby Luca and a beautiful wife Anna must be hovering somewhere around. Please give her a big hug.
She just got the baby and tried to get out.
Tell her that she's somewhere next if she ever wants to talk to me, because I
absolutely
on the show as well. So what else about Vito, guys? Vito also has 2 passions that we need to mention, because without them, the pitch there will be 3 passions. All right, cheers. Never on my show did I had a vino, but today, cheers, Vito.
What do you mean, cheers? You got to have wine more often then.
No. On my show, no. It's first time on the show, I'm saying. But what's important, guys, is that Vito is a wine lover, red wine lover for that matter. And he's an owner of the Vineyard in California. How cool is that? And that was his dream. And that shows you that you got to have those big, audacious freaking dreams and go after them, because only them can get it, right? And then it's 2 more things to make this beautiful picture of Vito full. He is a fan of Star Wars and Pearl Jam. None of these things are familiar to me, like to my close to my heart, but I honor you for that, having those passions. All right, so let's move on swiftly. Vito, thank you again for popping in and spending this time with me.
Sure, love it, girl. Any way I can help serve.
Awesome. That's the line that's, oh my goodness, I'm gonna talk about it as well. So I always ask my guests the first question, what was the first time in your life that you knew you had that heart of service, that you knew you wanted to help others? Because obviously, you know, there's so many people out there, they don't give a shit about anybody else, right? Just think of their own lives. So when was it for you?
Man, if I have to go back and think about that, like there's a couple moments that came together. Like from when I was young, I fell into really good music, as you mentioned, Pearl Jam and things like that. So at a young age, being introduced to books and great music, and I always heard the leaders' messages that were out there saying important words that I'm like, man, these guys are talking about amazing things. What if I could ever do that? And God did not give me the ability to sing or anything like that. So I was denied the rock star life, but I started to read and keep journals. And I started to be like, why do I have always something to say? Whether it was religion, politics, love, government, whatever. I always had shit to say. And I didn't understand why until I discovered later on that my grandfather was a revolutionary back in Venezuela, in Sicily, in northern Italy. And that's when I understood, like, oh, this is part of my history. This is part of what our family has done. And now it made sense to me about why I write, why I always have things to say, why I put pen to paper, why now, 30 years later, I still continue on. It's because I've got that revolutionist inside of me and inside our lineage. And in a short life, when every word can matter to somebody, why not do something with it, right?
Cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
You know, I remember you mentioning your dad on a few occasions in our talks. I used to participate in Vito's calls on every Monday. I think it was this, you know, hello, anybody there? Anybody inside to listen to what I have to say?
Sometimes you got to shake, rattle, and roll people, Jola.
That's right, baby. That's what I believe. And you were the first one, like I mentioned, that introduced me to a topic of high performance and to Brendon Burchard teachings. And I'm curious because, it started from these little seeds that you put like a little video here in the training, little this, and then we went through this 12-week program together, at the end of which you said, and I have these tickets to High Performance Academy, but you gotta decide now. And it's September and I got 0 vacation left. And I'm like,
I remember.
And I wanna go. And because I just finished this 12-week program and I was a new person, I was a brand new Jola who said, I'm courageous enough. I figured this shit out. And I said, me. And guess what? I figured this out. I got vacation time off and the trajectory of my life was changed forever. So that's
awesome.
What happened. But when was the first time, I never asked you this question, that you met Brendon or teachings, or how did you come across high performance? Because you are, in my opinion.
I came across it. It's always a blur for me what was the exact year. I think it was 2009, no later than 2010, when somebody, a fellow coach in the Beachbody Network, had called me and was just like, you need to hear this lady's webinar. She had this guy, Brendon Burchard, on, and he's just like you. I think you're gonna freaking love him and whatnot. And he was teaching some marketing stuff. And I put it on and I was there like, I love this dude. I was like, I get this guy's jam.
Yeah.
So from that moment on, I literally went and bought Millionaire Messenger. Then I went and got Expert Roadmap. And then I got and I just kept buying one thing after another thing, after another thing, after another thing.
Yeah.
Until now I'm in a mastermind with him.
Hey. And that's where we saw each other last time, because I have to say, even though I am light years behind you, per se, I am literally following sort of your path, because there is not one course that I didn't finish of Brendon's. There's not one book that I haven't read. I obviously, like yourself, certified as a high performance coach, and I joined his mastermind as well, because I knew we gotta invest in ourselves, right, to get better and better and better.
That's right.
To make that art as good as it gets. So wonderful. So when I mentioned at the beginning that you're this successful multi-business, multi-online business CEO owner, I would like to tell people about this, because these businesses are like very special. They help people. You say you want to help people, right? First, with the wellness fitness business that we all together started a couple of years ago, was about helping people get healthy, right? Now, the second mission in your life is to really get people get unbroke, get out of the debt and whatnot they are in.
That's one of them.
So that's what your businesses are all around, correct?
Well, in different ways. Like, so the Beachbody business is truly about helping the fight against our health, energy, and vitality, as well as the opportunity to give more freedom into people's lives and not living broke via what I feel is one of the best first entrepreneurial businesses for people, network marketing. But what has scaled beyond that now is like what we do with our visionary planner is we're taking true experts and helping them build their visionary brand. How do they create their offers, their coaching programs, a truly freedom-oriented business that can kind of travel the world with them, serve their message, deliver their method, and give them that, what we now kind of call that freedom lifestyle, so they can be happy place entrepreneurs. And that ended up leading to Vision in the Vineyards and the other things that we're doing. But the message can definitely be like, if you're just struggling financially and you need to get started, one place. But then we got the people that are true experts that are ready to start scaling their message online, and they're just stuck not knowing how to do it. We basically have the entire roadmap mapped out for them, so they don't have to mess around. And that's how we're out there birthing visionaries in the world. And part of our message and belief is that more visionaries will shift what's happening in this freaking world. Not people that just own businesses and jobs and careers, but see themselves as visionaries. And they got a message and a movement to go do. And they just want to do it while living a freaking awesome life as well. Because as we've seen recently in what's happening in the world, it's another reminder of how precious and short life can be, and we never know. And a lot of people are not living that way. And we're just trying to say, here's another pathway to have that freedom in life. You just got to be willing to execute the blueprint.
Yeah, preach, preach. This is exactly my point. This is the line I'm using in every call, like right now. Tomorrow is no promise to anyone.
Nope.
We gotta live it the best we can, and truly, is a key. But I want to talk about one of your businesses that's so freaking close to my heart because so many reasons. So that's the one that you mentioned. It's a Vision in a Vineyard. Yeah, V&V. Not only gorgeous name, not only the idea, the whole concept of it is brilliant. It's close to me because I am so big on these freedoms that you preach so much about, the freedom of time, of people, of place, of financial, right? All that stuff. So working from anywhere in the world, or for that matter, from your paradise that you created in California, you can do what you love and truly surround yourself by things, people you love, right? Isn't the most important thing? So that Vision in a Vineyard, I want you to really talk about this. Like, how did you come up with it? How did you create it? Who is it for? What do you do for people there? How people can benefit from this? And I tell you why, because I don't do, my retreats are coaching retreats. I take people to exotic places in the world.
Love it.
I took them to Bali. This year is going to be Peru. And I remove them from their hustle bustle everyday bullshit.
Yep.
Take them into this new perspectives. And now I put the stuff that I know works, the high performance, baby, and other stuff that I'm studying, like energetic healing and chakras and freaking feng shui and whatnot. And I'm putting this all in their heads just so that they get this holistic approach to life, right? So talk to me about Vision in a Vineyard, because this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, so where do you want to begin with this? Like the birth of it, the concept of it? Well,
because I remember when we talked years ago, you said, I would love to have a vineyard. That's what it was. One day you went to Italy. I guess you got married in Italy, didn't you?
We got engaged in Italy. We got married actually out here, which is how we discovered this wine country out here. But
that was your dream. I know that. That was your dream.
Yeah. But more important than like the vineyard's cool. It was the concept though of how do I evolve my business and brand to do something in a different way? Because I was actually at a Cabo retreat with Brendon, and he had come into the room and was challenging the audience to be like, every one of you, if you pay to be in this room, has a 6-figure plus idea in your head that you can deliver today. Let's talk through that. And he gave us a framework for thinking about it. And luckily I had my wife on that trip, and the two of us were on a break, and we had just gotten this house. What was it? That was January, August. We'd had it for maybe 5 months, and we hadn't figured out yet. When we looked at the property and we started to see things, I was like, oh, orchard becomes vineyard. We've got this little private casita. Man, it'd be cool to do retreats or business coaching there, but how, what are we going to do? And it was just kind of like foggy idea. But when Brendon said that to us and me and Anna were on a break, we were like, man, what do we do? Like, what's that 6-figure idea? We've got the house, the vineyard's getting planted this spring. And we were just talking back and forth. And we're like, it's like, if they can just come out, we'll help them build their vision. And Anna's like, yeah, we'll build their vision and we'll do it on the vineyard. It'll be like Vision in the Vineyard. And we were both like,
light goes on.
Just like that. We literally were we just made it up in 20 minutes.
Awesome.
On a break. But what made it possible was also the challenge of a mentor saying, you've got it, you can do it, not waiting for it to be perfect. Me and her launched it from the balcony in Cabo, like to people like, hey, we're launching this thing. We sold our first the next month. And since then we've sold 30 some odd people into Vision in the Vineyards. And it's now become an entity unto itself. And it's just probably our best thing that we're doing in our brand to serve our audience, because people are stuck. And when you're a true expert and you have so much in your head and you don't yet know, how do I break out of my brick and mortar? How do I break out of one-on-one? How do I break out of the service every day? And you haven't yet learned how to package that into a signature method. You don't know the marketing for it yet, how to build the offers, all that. we're like, do you want to do it in 2.5 days?
Yeah, yes. Do you want to do it? You can spend
Like,
5 years like I did so far. 5 years. Oh, you can do. I could have taken your offer. What was it? 2 years ago, you said you want to come to Vineyard. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna go with the master school, and then I'm gonna go with the master. And you know what? Yeah, I chose good path too, but it could have been faster, right? So yeah, this is exactly, and I love that you point out that mentorship, right? We're gonna get to it because I'm gonna have a special question for you at the end. But you know, we cannot undervalue and underestimate the power of person that can actually challenge you, show you that road ahead that sometimes you don't see, right?
Yeah. I mean, that is like probably one of the top reasons that I've been investing in masterminds since 2008, that I've always was just like trial and error and figuring it out by yourself. That was the 90s bullshit. Today, everyone is just like, dude, I have the roadmap. You have to pay to play. But when you understand time, return on time, everyone's looking for return on investment. I'm like, that's important. But return on time where somebody can be like, I'm giving you the faster, accelerated path. I'm removing a lot of the mistakes that you can make that will cost you years and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why would you not do that? Yeah. To me, the people that are just scarcity mindset, ooh, I'm worried about dropping 10,000 on a coaching program. Like, I invest $96,000 a year in masterminds and mentorship in my life because I've learned how to generate the millions with that. That's the difference in thought process.
Exactly. So what for the average mortal out there seems crazy. Just look at the results. Like I said before, you, for me, an example of the highest performing individual. So you understand the principle. You invest to get what you need to perform and give.
That's right.
Right. So phenomenal. Right. So who is the Vineyard for? Who is this Vision in Vineyard for? Like,
yeah, I mean, anybody that truly has a message and an expertise and they want to go deliver a result and a transformation to their said audience. So we had, like, example, we had Dr. Vince out here, and he's a pain specialist. So he's developed by coming here the live pain-free method. Not, hey, I do 1 hour consults and pain relief sessions. That means nothing. But when he's just like, I help people that have been living with recurring pain for 3 months or longer, that have been to every doctor, taken every pill, and they're still not better. I teach them to get pain-free in 4 weeks and how to live pain-free forever. That's a promise in the market. That's a result that you can go market. We are always working for those people that have some transformation. They've developed a skill, an expertise that can create a result and remove a person's problem and give them the thing that they want in their life, their desire. We take that person and we just sit their ass down and we help them build their entire business in a year. Besides Vision in the Vineyard, anyone that comes to Vision in the Vineyard gets our year coaching program with it. So it's a game changer for the serious visionary.
Yeah, and I've learned this. Often people, when they, let's say, broke and they say, well, I cannot invest anymore and I cannot do this because they caught, for example, like a free webinar or a free class. Oh, no, I'm good now. I can do it now. And this is like a breaking in a pattern, just like a short little distraction. They think they can do it and they just as lost as they were before. So that's phenomenal.
Well, you know what you got to do with that, Jola? You got to question. We can look at the best thing that we have in life is proof, right? Because you can sit back and be like, I've made that decision my whole life. Somebody can sit back and you're like, no, I just did the webinar, I did this and that. If I have to invest anything more than $100, I don't do it. I expect the world to give me everything for free. Brendon, Vito, this person, that person, post everything and teach me everything and whatnot. That's the myth in their head. But I'm like, if you have been doing that your whole life and yet you're still not happy, you're still not financially there, I'm like, guess what? That don't work.
Yeah.
Keep doing that.
And expecting different results is an insanity. And that's what people do. So I am so proud of every person who actually raised the hand, like you did one time, I did, and whoever is of, people of our clients who actually go for it, because it's so important. I congratulate every single person. I'm so proud of them, and the results they get is amazing. So
it starts with that intention though. Yeah,
100%. So I'm curious, like I'm so appreciating you being here and taking your time from the family, but if you were to give me an answer, because we actually nicely rolled into it. If a person comes to you and says, Vito, I mean, you invested $500,000 in education. Tell me now, why would you hire a coach? I want to know.
I mean, it comes down to what I was sharing before.
Yeah.
I want a return on time, and I want acceleration in life. I do not know how much time I have on this planet. You don't know. I have now a 1.5-year-old, and I'm like, I gotta make sure everything gives me as much opportunity to be with him. And if I hadn't made the changes back 10 years ago, I'd be here today still having to leave for a job at 5 a.m. and coming home at 9 p.m. I'd never see his life. I'd be passing ships with my wife. I could do that normal life, that ordinary life, or in anything we want in life. You can go hire the coach that says, you want that. That's the life you want. That's the pain you want. That's the relief that you want. That's the whatever the freaking thing is. That you can today be like, can you show me the path to it? Because in a time where life is so precious, why would I want to lose time? Why would I want to waste time? Why would I want to waste effort? Why would I want to waste money taking the long road when there are great people putting their hands out to say, is that what you want? Well, I figured that out.
Yep.
And I could show you the way there. You just have to be willing to execute, implement, and get out of your own way.
An important thing is to understand, guys, that Vito wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth, Yeah. We're looking back, 10 decades or whatnot, just tell briefly your Cinderella story. I mean, come on, you had a studio, right? The bankrupt or whatever, like the debt.
Yeah, I mean, I lost my house, was near bankruptcy, $105K in debt. And I was following the typical American dream of own a small business because I had come up, but like that moment actually culminated way before, because a lot of people want to be like, what's that Cinderella story from there? But I'm like, there was a lot of choices before that led there, because I'm like, when I was first working on Wall Street and I was surrounded by people I did not like working with, I had to make the choice back then to be like, this is great money, but I can't work with these kind of people. You hear me talk about people freedom, where I'm like, if this is my everyday, I will kill myself if this is who I'm working with. So I had to say no there. I think all Cinderella stories begin with a moment of no more. I will not live this way anymore.
I love it. Oh my God.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Hello. Yes. Cheers to that. Vito, give me a big moment.
Love it. But it was that moment of like Wall Street saying no more. When I worked in fashion and being like, I just don't like the dogma that's going on around here. No more. When I was a trainer and I got into the fitness industry and I ran out of hours and I was just like, is this the most I can do in my life is trade dollars for hours? I said, no more. I'll start a small business. I started my studio. When I recognized the debt and the overhead and all this and that and the hours and the whatnot, I'm like, for the ROI, I was like, no more. There has to be another freaking way. That's when I started Beachbody.
Return on investment, for those of you who don't know. Return on investment.
And I mean, it was just this compilation of ideas, because somebody could be like, it was 2010 when I lost my house, 105K in debt, trying to figure out the studio. And that's when network marketing came into my life with Beachbody, where most people are like, fuck, network marketing, pyramid schemes, all that. I was just like, that's stupid thinking. That makes no sense. That's the way a child thinks. So I'm going to evaluate this business. And I'm like, oh, I get this model. And oh my God, this is what I could do. 4 years later, I make my first $1 million in that business. That helped me fund the growth where I was able to start paying Brendon the bigger dollars and get into other coaching programs, Ryan Dice, Dan Kennedy, and all that. Like I have a super friend team around me. Brendon's just one of many, but I learned how to make money to be able to, because I didn't have that skill. Everyone's like, I want to make more money. I'm like, how much do you study making money? How much do you study sales and do you study marketing? You don't? That's why you're not making fucking money. You don't actually study it. So why should it come to you? I just decided to start investing in that capability, that capacity, that skill set, where most people are like, I don't want to read sales books and marketing books. And I'm like, that's why you're broke. That's why your business struggles. Simple as that. You just choose to get the skills. I knew high performance was the root at everything, because I'm like, I could be a great salesperson, I could be a great marketer, but if I don't have energy, courage, productivity, if I don't have persuasion, and if I don't have a solid psychology, I won't be the best human I can be.
Yep.
And I won't be able to stay at it. So that became a cornerstone where I'm like, at the base, I will have high performance. I will layer sales and marketing and leadership and money making and all that on top of it, so that I have the pyramid of skills that I need to go create the daily dream experience that I want for my wife, for my kid, for my family, for my life.
Yep. It's
to get your dream life. It's purely intention and development of skills.
And execution, yeah.
Well, correct. That goes without saying that. Enough with the dreamers. We need a little less hoorah and we need a little bit more do-rah. Everybody's talking a good game. Everybody like wishes and prays and hopes, but God ain't listening to that, nor is hope an answer. Today, it's about our own capabilities, our own self-efficacy, our own capacity to say, I want this kind of a life. Now, I might not get it today. A lot of people always like, you're asking me about the Cinderella story type thing, but I'm like, go back to 2010 and recognize it took me 7 years to get this villa. Then 2 years on top of that to build what is now the whole vision in the vineyards and the whole thing and whatnot. It looks like a resort. I'm like, 9 years. Most people give up in 9 fucking days. That's why they're not living their dreams. They give up in 9 months. Oh, it got hard. Oh, I couldn't do it. Oh, I didn't see the results right away.
That's why I love your teaching so much, because you know what? 5 years ago when I was starting with you, you said, it takes 5 years to really hard work to actually see anything. And it's interesting because I'm coming off my 5 years now and I'm starting to breathe differently and I'm starting to feel better. And I'm like, shit, even about this, he was right. Like even about that stupid timeline, he was right, So I know I have still some work to do, but
all right, you're doing it, girl. You're doing it.
I'm on it. I'm in it to win it. And I just want to finish this beautiful conversation that I'm enjoying so much. I mean, I'm addicted to your wisdoms, and it's called for a reason, Vitoism, right? So, I'd love you to tell me, if you give my audience, my beloved tribe, three favorite ideas, tips, strategies, how to be successful in 2020, in this new decade. Baby, we're already in February. Can you believe this shit? I mean, we just celebrated New Year's Eve, right? The time flies, man. There's no doubt about this.
Yep.
So what do people do to be successful in 2020, in the new decade? Give it to them, and we're going to be happy that we have you here today.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first is always about intention setting. We only get what we want with the intention of, this is what I like to call your daily dream experience. Are you clear on it? Most people don't ever sit down and are like, this is how I want my life to be. It was 2010. I was at a mastermind with a buddy and we were doing this intention setting. And I wrote on on an index card, I will one day own a Tuscan villa. I thought Tuscany though. I was just slightly wrong in location, but I was just like, I'll own a villa. I'm going to do this.
Remind me, I have one more question when we finish.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Within that intention of crystallizing the moment of what I want my life, even down to being like, I want to be able to make sure when we wake up in the morning, I can have breakfast with our kid. I can torture my wife a little bit. I can mess around before I get to work. I can do my personal development, etc. Where I'm like, I control my agenda. I can take time off in the middle of the day to go play with Luca. I've got gardens. I've got this. I just created all that visualization and then wrote the stuff down. Like even with you, I'm like, I don't go anywhere not prepared, not visualized. And that's in that preparation is 80% of success. So how often are you clear on the intentions, setting the scene of your daily dream experience, and then creating the preparation and the work for it? Your life will freaking change in this decade if you just focus on that. Second thing I'd say is have a disciplined, relentless, ruthless pursuit of less in your life. Get rid of everyone's trying to do 10 projects, 8 of this stuff. You're like, dude, one major project in your business, in your fitness, in your career, in your health, in your marriage. We try to take on so much that we never get that fine edge of our skill. Instead, we're lost in overwhelm. We're lost in confusion. We're sucked into all the half-dug holes of life. So look through your life in this next decade and say, what can I do less of, but be better at, be excellent at, so as to be distinct in the market and show true excellence that the world will be wanting to pay you for that excellence. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what would I say? Three. I'd probably say get a blueprint, get a coach. I mean, like, trial and error is like, why? Why go, like, it's not 1990 anymore. You should understand that if you're willing to pay, there will people that will show you a faster way. That was the first time I ever said it that way, and it even rhymes. If you're willing to pay, someone will show you the faster way. That's it. It's freaking perfect. Just today, look for the shorter path. By all means, I'm always telling people, I'm like, when people like build a brand, I'm like, by all means, go read all that.
Yeah.
And then go read the other decades of freaking books out there and walk that 15-year journey, or be like, in 1 year, we've condensed that into a blueprint.
Well, go for 2.5 days to Vineyard.
Yeah. Well, no matter what, you still got to build. You still got to build 2.5 days. We architect everything, but you still got to execute. It's the same with go figure out high performance all by yourself. Or I was like, that dude over there, Brendon, 20 years, a book a week on psychology, human performance, research studies and all that. I'm like, I'll read your shit. I'll buy your shit. I'll do your shit. I'll pay to be in your shit.
Yep.
And in that amount of time, he's made me a millionaire multiple times over.
Congratulations.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. I always love every single time that you bring your Vitoism to life. And a question came to mind because, you know, in coaching, we ask this very powerful question. If I had a magic wand, Vito, and I'm really curious about it, and I could wave it at you right now. You said, you know, that originally it was Tuscany. Who stops you to have multiple vineyards, right? Who stops you?
Nobody.
What would be the thing for you? Like, if you think forward now, let's say 5-10 years from now, where do you see yourself? Talk to me. Anything is possible, Vito. Anything.
Yeah. We will have simply gone deeper in what we're doing. We would have scaled it more from where we are now, because we truly have, our models are exactly where we want them to be. Now it's just scale. How many more people can we get and can we do whatnot? That our whole mission is just in this next decade is to scale that, create a bigger network of the people, because we're finding that today the experience and the network economy are coming back because people have become so disconnected and so lost out there with the inability to be connected to other people and connected to their passions and their visions, that we're going to just continue on that path and layer in some elements from books that we have that will come out, expand the retreat environment, add on our legacy builders mastermind, which will be for people that are truly chasing a legacy. You've defined your vision. Now it's about delivering on your legacy, which is a whole different thing. That it's just going deep versus wide with our market, because you can build an amazing life, amazing impact without the concept of I have to serve everybody and I got to do it guru style. You can just be like, back to those 5 freedoms. who are the exact people I want to work with the exact message I want to work with, in the exact way I want to deliver it, in the exact place I want to deliver it, and freaking have that life when you stay focused on that service. You're going to choose in this next decade. If I was to add the last thing on that top 3 tips for success, choosing what way you are going to add value and be of service as to demand being compensated in the market for the value, the result, and the transformation that you deliver. That is the gateway to all of success, because in service, all things come back to us. Make sense?
Amen. I couldn't say it better myself, and I didn't expect anything less than that from you. Listen, thank you so very much for your wisdoms.
My pleasure, sweetheart.
Insights, for spending time with me and my audience. And if you would just kindly share perhaps your social media handles and the websites, if anybody would like to maybe reach out and use your service.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody that's thinking about building a brand or anything like that, or wants to know how we did this stuff, they can go to thevisionariplanner.com, and there's free trainings and all sorts of cool stuff that they can dive in there. And Vito G. LaFata is what you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, all that. So it's super easy to connect with. And I'm proud of you, girl, that you're out there doing this. It takes a lot of courage. You're exercising that courage muscle to get out there. I know English ain't your first language. You're developing stuff. You're also showing why this country was built on the backs of amazing immigrants that are doing amazing work in this country to pay things forward and to add value to this country. So I appreciate and honor you. So thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that from you. It means a world to me. So make sure when we finish this, you go big hug and a kiss to your beautiful wife, Anna.
I will.
Pack on the cheek for you, Luca, okay?
Thank you, my sweetheart.
I hope we see each other soon on the road somewhere. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, sweetheart.
Ciao.